So my background is in graphic design, and I was very much a behind the scenes person. You know, it was rare for any clients, anybody to know that I was the one doing their work. But now, where I own my own business, now I'm very much in the forefront. So I sort of came into it with this idea of, you know, I can wear whatever I want, everybody else can sort of deal with it. And to an extent, I think I did that through the beginning phases of my business, and we got by. But after a while, I wanted to make an intentional effort to reflect back what I wanted to step into. You know, I want to be working with a higher tier of clients. I want to be working with a higher tier of professionals. And so presenting myself, my own brand, you know, the Keisha Whaley brand, but on top of that, presenting my business was a big shift. It was a big move. I don't think I realized until after doing it, the opportunities that I have now are very different than the opportunities I had before. I think that I was giving off this sort of, you know, young, wayward, creative, you know, very aloof sort of thing, just in these ill-fitting clothes and all these crazy colors. But coming into something that instead is intentionally shaped shows a different level of professionalism that I think a lot of the people that I want to do business with now are able to receive, you know, in a much more comfortable way. It establishes trust and my level of expertise, all of that very quickly. I've absolutely been the person whose wardrobe wasn't serving them. And I don't think I was fully conscious of it until I was getting to the point where what I had to do for the day was actually exciting, but the idea of getting dressed to go do it made me want to back out altogether. I had clothes that I had kind of pieced together purely because they were reflective of my mood at the time that I bought them maybe, or my level of stress, you know, what can easily just be thrown on and all of that. So I ended up looking a little bit like my high school art teachers. I don't think that that was intentional, but it's what happened. And so, you know, I was getting to the point where I was doing more exciting things and was like, okay, I don't even want to leave the house in these things. We have this relationship with clothing. You sort of unpack those feelings and you feel like you're not supposed to feel that way, that it's clothing and you're being vain or something, but all of those things that are just taking chips away from your confidence and your self-image, like, that's not necessarily vanity, but that's just our ability to function out in the world and be successful or lean into the moment. I had to sort of give myself some grace and say, I actually would like to feel better about the clothes that I have, and I'm okay with that taking some work and some time to get there, but I know that I don't want to feel like that again. So when I was first approached by Roxanne, this was early last year before the pandemic, I was very excited that she reached out to me, but then we get this sort of shutdown order, and I said, oh, I don't know, I feel like we have to push pause on this because I don't know what's going to happen. And I spent the entire next 6 months or so really focused on my business and pivoting my business and getting that where it needed to be in order to withstand everything that was coming forward. But sometime around September, October, it was getting into the fall, I started to look inward and want to pivot myself. You know, we were getting to the point where everything was on conference calls. You know, you're in Zoom meeting after Zoom meeting after Zoom meeting, and after a while, there's only so much you can do to just keep putting on the same hoodie or something and kind of excusing things around you. Now this is the new normal. It's time to start looking like this was meaningful, you know, to you. This meeting that you're about to have, there's a reason that you're there. So I reached back out to her and said, you know what, I think I'm ready to start working. And she was so excited and said, you know, I can't wait, let's get something on. And even before we began working together, we had our first kind of introductory conversation, and it just was so easy talking with someone that understood where I was coming from. Everything had been an internal dialogue before. Everything had been, I don't want to wear that, I don't want to go out. You know, I almost wasn't unhappy that we were so restricted because I didn't have anything I felt good about. And here was somebody that I could talk to. Here was somebody that received it like a therapist and said, yes, I understand that, and here's what we can do. And so coming out of it, I actually thanked her so much because of my perspective shift. I was actually thinking through what my clothes were saying about me and how I was feeling because of them. It was a huge moment. So even though we hadn't gotten to the fun stuff of the shopping or the fitting or anything, we had gotten to something that really needed to be uncovered before I could move forward. And I was so, so grateful for that. And every single step since then has been that same sort of moment of, oh, thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for doing this work and for helping me transition into this new version of myself. So I want to take a moment to talk about this sweater. All of the pieces that I got were amazing. This sweater is one that caught my eye for reasons I did not see coming. First of all, it's a color that's so close to my own skin tone that I would have initially just waved that off. But this actually is so complementary to my skin. So that was one thing. It's also got this really kind of architectural ribbing going on. It brings in my shape beautifully. Of course, with this jacket on, you can't see all of it, but I also love the versatility of being able to wear it with or without a jacket. It's just a really, really nice piece. And there were a few times that we would uncover something that I said, I would have never picked that out for myself, but now that I have it on, I have to wear it. And this was one of the first ones that was like that. So if you're considering this and you're on the fence, I would say there's probably something that you know is a little off, is a little not where it needs to be. Otherwise, you might not be on the fence. You know, if you felt fully confident in everything that you had and your ability to style yourself and know, you know, your body and your shape and all those things, that's great. That's awesome. I was not that way. I was not in that place. And I was also very much on the fence about wanting to go forward with this. I almost felt like I should be able to do this for myself. That, you know, why am I having such a hard time finding clothes that fit me and that work? Why am I having such a hard time with this style that I'm supposed to have in my head? And, you know, I'm a person that can make these creative decisions, so why is it not translating here? So I was very on the fence about that. I also thought it would be a whole lot more, you know, labor intensive, emotionally intensive. Every kind of turn, it's been this wonderful sort of weight lifted, feeling like someone is taking care of me that has a level of expertise that I, you know, don't have, but she's also teaching along the way. She's so thoughtful about explaining what she's doing and why she's doing it, and getting you to the point where you can feel confident about your own purchases, your own choices to style things together. So there's that, and it's also whatever's in your head about what it's going to be, you know, it's probably not. I would say that. It was actually such a welcome surprise, every step of it. If you're on the fence and you're not sure, I would look in at what is it that you feel like you kind of know is not right, and what would this open up for you? What could you do on the other side? If you remove the barriers that have you questioning this, then what's yours? And if that part is worth it to you, I think you got to do it.